Okay, so now the machine is threaded, we are ready to sew. So the first thing we need to know is that you want to move your needle up and down with the flywheel on the side of the machine. And you're going to put your fabric underneath the presser foot. There are lines here to help you keep your sewing straight. They'll be in different amounts. These are in millimeters because my machine is European made. So generally most apparel has a 5/8 inch seam allowance, which on my machine is right about where that circle is. So I know that I have to put my fabric underneath the machine over to the circle. And if you're not sure how much seam allowance your machine has there, you can use one of these slide hem rulers and measure the distance between the needle and the line. That way you will know for sure whether it's a 1/2 inch or an inch, whatever. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my needle into the fabric. This keeps the machine from jump starting and from getting a big ball of thread underneath the fabric there. And then I'm going to lower my presser foot. You may have to lower your presser foot by hand. Some machines have a lever on the back to do that with. So then it's just like driving a car. I can put my pedal down. I'm using just a straight stitch and stitch length of 3.0 is what I use for most projects. And then you can start sewing. My machine will back tack the seam for you. Some machines you have to do that manually. So there'd be a reverse button here, and as you sew, you just want to hold this button down for a couple of stitches, let it go, and that anchors the stitches. There you have the straight stitch. Now, to end mine, I just press the scissors and it'll cut the threads for me. A lot of machines, you cut them by hand. There's usually a thread guide here along the side, and if you see how you pull the thread there, it just cuts it off for you. It makes it real easy and quick to cut them without having to grab for the scissors. So you want to look at the back and the front of your fabric. See what I mean? How it sometimes gives you a little bird nest of fabric of thread at the back here. You can cut that off. It's not going to hurt anything, not going to make the seam unravel. But you want to make sure your stitches are even and tight on both sides of the fabric. And that's how you know that the machine is threaded correctly, that your needle is in good working order, and that you're ready to start sewing. I always test my stitch on a piece of scrap fabric before beginning the project. It's just much easier than ruining projects if you have some sort of an issue.